Gentlemen, put a tiny sprinkle of pepper under your tongue for 30 seconds, and you might notice better circulation down there sooner than you expected. I am Dr. Anna Hayes, urologist focused on helping men recover energy and confidence after 50, and what I share comes from clinics, patient stories, and practical biochemistry, not from hype. What I will outline can improve local blood flow and support libido and firmness in weeks, though individual results vary, and you should check with your physician before changing anything. I remember Paul, 57 and a high school teacher, whose laugh had thinned and whose mornings felt heavy. He tried diets, heavier workouts, and more sleep, but still felt like a dimmer version of himself. He and his wife Sarah sat in my office with a coffee cup between them, steam curling and the smell of peppermint from Sarah's tea filling the quiet, and we sketched a protocol focused on faster absorption and nutrient synergy rather than a single miracle. If this hits home, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Like this video and subscribe if you want clear, usable approaches that respect the science and the man behind the symptoms. Now, let us dig into why a tiny change in delivery can make a tangible difference. Paul's case is simple and familiar. He is 57, teaches history, spends long hours grading papers and commuting, and described his backstory in a way that stuck with me. He gained 20 pounds over a decade, began waking groggy, lost spontaneous desire, and felt embarrassed about declining performance. His partner Sarah worried aloud about intimacy and about his mood. They had seen a nutritionist and tried over-the-counter tablets that upset his stomach. His story is not rare, and the emotional texture was immediate. The tightness in his shoulders, the quiet tone when he described avoiding eye contact at night. That backstory lasted a few sentences in the chart, but carried weight in every recommendation we would make. In the exam room, we talked practical specifics, and I used a simple analogy to explain sublingual absorption. Imagine the gut as a busy highway full of toll booths and detours, while the sublingual route is a VIP lane straight to circulation. When you let nutrients dissolve under the tongue, the mucosa absorbs compounds directly into veins that feed the heart and pelvic region faster, increasing biodisability for certain molecules and reducing first-pass loss through the liver. The difference is like sending a courier by foot across the city instead of shipping through a congested port. I described how capsaicinoids, present in certain peppers, may promote vasodilation by activating transient receptor potential channels, and how that local effect, combined with higher available cofactors, can support nitric oxide pathways. I did not promise miracles, and I warned that peppers are not a replacement for medical therapies when needed. We then walked through the ingredient list and why each matters when delivered efficiently. Vitamin D3 supports hormone synthesis and immune health, and its active form is easier to use when circulation is improved. Zinc plays a central role in testosterone production and sperm health and helps regulate SHBG binding. Magnesium helps relax smooth muscle and supports sleep quality, which is essential for hormonal balance. Boron influences free testosterone and mineral metabolism. Vitamin K2 guides calcium where it belongs and may assist vascular health when paired with D3. Other coadjuvants we considered included L-citrulline for nitric oxide precursor support, a light touch of biopurine to enhance uptake, and small amounts of electrolytes to aid muscle contraction. Each one has a role, and when combined in a form that avoids digestive degradation, their synergy increases. I explained that sublingual delivery can boost bioavailability by bypassing gut enzymes and first-pass metabolism, so more of the active material reaches target tissues. Scenes in Paul's life show how this integrates. One morning, he placed a measured sprinkle of finely ground pepper and a designed nutrient strip under his tongue. He felt a faint tingling on his tongue, a warm burn at the back of the throat, and smelled a bright citrus and pepper scent from the blend. He texted his friend Carlos at noon, saying he felt more alert, and Carlos replied with a laughing emoji and a memory of when they fished together. Paul's trainer Mike noticed post-workout recovery improving and called him. In the clinic, Paul said to me, "I can feel a difference after 2 weeks." I asked him what that felt like. He said, "Mornings are less like climbing molasses, and sex is less of a performance and more of a choice." Sarah hugged him that evening and told him his smile returned. That exchange had texture, the click of a spoon, the warmth of a mug, the rustle of paper as Paul scribbled progress notes. Dialogues mattered in those moments, and we had at least 3 clear back and forths about sensations, plans, and adjustments. At roughly 30% of this explanation, pause and consider your own timeline. I know many of you will see your life reflected in Paul's story, and that is why I want simple engagement. If you have noticed a decline in energy or libido, type 1 below. If you have not, type 0. Your reply builds community and helps me shape future content. Remember, this is a low-cost, low-risk step when done sensibly, but always check medication interactions and consult Linda, the pharmacist, if you are on blood thinners or complex prescriptions. Now, a practical routine to make this work in real life. Morning routine. Week 1 through 4. Mornings, take the sublingual blend or a pinch of a controlled pepper extract under the tongue for 30 to 60 seconds, then swallow saliva. Keep hydration steady. Pair with a modest protein-rich breakfast and 30 minutes of light movement, such as a brisk walk. Prioritize sleep hygiene, lights out, at consistent times and avoid heavy alcohol. Strength train twice weekly with Mike or your coach, focusing on compound lifts. Track progress with simple metrics: energy scored 1 to 10, sleep hours, libido, and morning erection firmness. I also recommend periodic lab work with an endocrinologist, such as Dr. Alvarez, to monitor testosterone, free and total, SHBG, and vitamin D levels, so you have objective measures. We had several characters in this plan to humanize it. Paul, the protagonist, Sarah, his wife, Carlos, his friend who checks in by text, Mike, the trainer who adjusts workouts, and Linda, the pharmacist who verifies interactions. I also consulted Dr. Alvarez for endocrine context and Emily, a nutritionist who advised dietary sources of magnesium and zinc. Each person contributed an action item. Linda confirmed doses, Mike modified sets, Emily suggested zinc-rich meals, and Dr. Alvarez monitored labs. Now a 30-day challenge. Do this consistently for 30 days, take notes, and evaluate sleep, energy, libido, and morning erections. If after 30 days you feel no improvement, consult your clinician. Measure by simple scales, and if possible, repeat blood tests to check vitamin D and testosterone-related markers. Share your results in the comments so we can build evidence together. Subscribe to follow updates and details on exact compositions and sourcing quality. Look for third-party testing and clear manufacturing traceability when choosing products. Quality matters. 1 month update moment. 1 month, Paul reported clearer mornings and better recovery. He described the taste as warming, the pepper note lingering with a citrus aftertaste, and the texture of the strip melting cleanly under the tongue. His sleep improved by 45 minutes on average, and Sarah said he was more present at dinner. Labs showed modest improvements in vitamin D and no adverse effects. He and I adjusted the routine slightly, more focus on magnesium in the evening and an extra rest day. 3 months update moment. At 3 months, Paul had meaningful improvements in energy and sexual confidence. His morning erection frequency increased and his training intensity rose. The social effects were clear. His jokes returned, his presence at family gatherings deepened, and his self-reported mood scale shifted upward. We confirmed sustained vitamin D levels and a small rise in free testosterone within expected ranges. This was not a cure-all, but a case of targeted delivery, consistent routine, and sensible medical oversight producing measurable life quality changes. Recapping, a tiny sublingual approach, including a controlled pepper compound plus key nutrients, can be a useful tool to support circulation and functions down there when combined with sleep, exercise, and monitoring. As a urologist, I see that delivery matters as much as composition. Try a consistent 30-day plan, measure simple outcomes, and consult Linda or your personal clinician if you take medications. If this made sense, subscribe for the next video where we break down exact doses, sourcing, and lab interpretation. Go ahead and take responsibility for your vitality and presence, because small changes done consistently add up to real results.